It is a warm welcome to you viewers. We meet again on another episode of Crime Watch, a program aimed at fighting crime in our country by continued interaction with you members of the public. My name is Onisisa Sibanda. It's good to have you along. We start by looking at COVID-19 issues. While the government has relaxed the COVID-19 lockdown rules, it does not mean that the pandemic has ended. The risk of exposure to the virus and a potential increase in infections may still occur. Therefore, as people go about their day-to-day business, we ought to abide by the principal guidelines of social distancing, washing of hands, and wearing of masks. We also urge members of the public to avoid gatherings and unnecessary movements. In the same vein, as the examination classes open, we would like you to ensure that children are safe and they are also aware of the basic guidelines to prevent the spread of COVID-19. The Zimbabwe Public Police will continue to monitor that all these regulations are adhered to, and those found on the wrong side of the law will be arrested. Moving on, the Zimbabwe Public Police wishes to clarify that it is in the interest of motorists and road safety that all vehicles moving on the road should have permanent registration plates. Motorists should take note that vehicles with no permanent registration numbers cannot be licensed or insured. The Vehicle Registration and Licensing Act, Chapter 13.14, clearly specifies that an acquired vehicle should have a change of ownership effected within 2 weeks and licensed thereof. Such vehicles are not supposed to be driven on the roads until licensed and insured. Unlicensed and uninsured vehicles are a risk to lives and property, as innocent people who get injured or lose life during mishaps cannot be compensated in terms of the law. It is easy for police to track vehicles which are legally registered and licensed in case of accidents and those involved in criminal activities such as robbery and rape. Moving on, CID Minerals Flora and Fauna Unit Mutare has accounted for 2 suspects for breaching the Parks and Wildlife Act after they were found in possession of 2 pangolins in Dangamvura in Mutare.
Our detectives from CID Minerals Flora and Fauna Unit Mutare received a tip-off that there were some accused persons who were in possession of pangolins. Our CID members tracked the accused persons until they intercepted their motor vehicle. That was a BT200 which they were driving, that is in Dangamvura area. Upon arrest, they said the motor vehicle and they covered 2 live pangolins. And the people, these persons are being charged for contravening section 45(1) bracket B of the Parks and Wildlife Act, that is 20.14. That is unlawful possession, sale, or disposal of specially protected animal species. In this case, it is the pangolins. I would like to appeal to the members of the public that if one is found in possession of these specially protected animals, that is the pangolin, it attracts a stiffer sentence, and it is advisable that as soon as they get the information or they found these pangolins, they should advise the police as soon as possible, or advise the members of the Parks and Wildlife. They'll be there to assist. I would like to thank the members of the public for supporting the police and the other authorities in availing the information in connection with these special protected species.
Still in Mutare, police and members of the public combined to apprehend 3 people after they unlawfully entered a shop, stealing groceries and electrical gadgets.
Taka receive a case unlawful entry into premises and theft. Iyo mumangari angari gift muwezva wepamupudzi business center. Pakapapazwa pashopu pake pakabiwa magirosaries aisanganisira shuga, sipo, mafuta okuzora, mafuta okubikisa, welding machine, generator, compressor, pamwe chete nematelevision 3 erudzi rweplasma. Takawana runyere kupe kuti pane ainzi Desire Muzinge Mbuya wokwamutidza Wanda Village Chief Mutambara kuakowa anga ari involved. Gomana akabvuma kuti ange ari paramhosva akazotaurawo kuti anga asiri ega, asi kuti anga ane vamwe vake vakomana 2 wokwa matendeudzo evillage chief mutambara zvakare but ukwakwa kunedziwa uko kwatakakwanisa kuzonowana zvinhu zvese zvazvabirwa mumangari zvazvakachengetwa neanonzi ngoni dzacho mafuta kunedziwa ukoko. Zvinhu zvakabiwa zvazviri worth 315,400 zvese zvakarikaviwa. Saka kunewo ruzhinji ndinongokurudzira kuti seMCS shandai nesu mapurisa.
Ndakabva pashopu pangu ndichienda kumba manheru iwayo, ndakaona kuti ndichingosvikapo ndakaona dhoo rangu rakavhurika ndandasiya ndavhara, ndikatoona kuti pashopu pangu pabiwa. Chandakatanga kuona kuti foni yangu yabiwa, saka ndakabva ndatomhanya panhandadzi yangu inoenderogarisana nayo pedyo, achibva andibatsira nemacontacts. Pandafonera maneighbors angu panova pakazobude information yemotikari yanga itorwa mafotos kuti tizozive kuti tichibatana nemapurisa tichibatsirana tichitsvaga tane information yemotikari iyi. Ndoda kutende mapurisa emuZimbabwe kuti ini ndakazongozwa ndakufonerwa kuzi mbavha dzako dzabatwa, pabatanidzwe mapurisa epamuromo nemaCID ndio vakazokwanisa kuti masuspect tatinawo ayabvunzurudze azotaura ndikunde kuye pashopu pangu achitaure mabira akandiita zvese matorero akaita zvinhu zvangu. Saka ndiri kufara neservice yatakapiwa nemapurisa. Ini ndingangoti ndinokurudzire vanhu vanoita zvebusiness kuti chekutanga havafaniri kusiya pashopu pasina munhu. Ndozoti munhu kana zvekuti wabirwa manye kuripota, waripota unobatsirwa nezvakawanda nemapurisa ende unokwanisa kuona zvinhu zvako. Sokona kwendakaita zvangu.
We now take a look at people who were arrested across the country, convicted and given varying sentences. Neva Dube, aged 58, Promise Moyo, aged 45, and Dennis Daki, aged 44, who stole 52 cattle belonging to Ndoda Nangwenya, aged 60, appeared at Rishavane Magistrate Court, where they were convicted and sentenced to 9 years each. Ishmael Chidemo, aged 18, who raped a minor, has been convicted and sentenced to 8 years imprisonment at Mutare High Court. Wisdom Muchemwa, aged 27, who struck Elia Katsandi, aged 74, several times on the head with a log and he died on the spot, has been convicted and sentenced to 6 years imprisonment at Gwanda Regional Court. Crime Watch takes a short break. Join us in the second segment. We are in the second segment of Crime Watch. Zeterapi Nkulumane arrested 3 accused persons for smuggling 121 television sets from outside the country. Officer commanding Nkulumane District, Chief Superintendent Bizeki, gives us the story.
We received information that they were suspected smuggled goods at a house in Nkulumane 11. We reacted quickly to the information and dispatched a team which visited the scene. They managed to recover 121 LED televisions and also arrested 3 male accused persons. Apparently, when the suspects were questioned, they indicated that they smuggled the goods from Botswana. I would like to warn members of the public that those who flout the rules of the country, the long arm of the law will eventually catch up with them. Let me also take this opportunity to thank members of the public for supplying valuable information to the police, which led to the arrest of these 3 accused persons and the recovery of this property. I would also like to urge members of the public to continue supplying information to the police.
Still in Bulawayo, police are concerned with stock theft cases that are occurring in and around the province. Zeterapi Western Commonage arrested people in connection with stock theft cases.
We received information to the effect that the criminals were seen at block number 52 using a Honda Fit carrying meat suspected to be stolen, and we sent our intelligence team to go and investigate. Through investigations, they managed to arrest 4 accused persons who are well-known stock thieves, and they had stolen 2 beasts in Chesa area under Pumula, and Most of the meat had been sold to local residents. I appeal to members of the public not to buy meat from unreliable sources.
In another case of stock theft in Bulawayo, police officers from Zeterapy Donington apprehended 3 people for stock theft. The 3 were arrested at a police checkpoint at Bellevue Shopping Center. Let us hear more.
We made a roadblock along Churchill Road, Bellevue. Then we spotted a car that we suspected. We stopped the vehicle. Upon stopping the vehicle, we discovered that it had some blood stains by the door side. We asked the driver to step out of the car. Then the other passenger took off. We made a follow-up after asking where he resides. Then they directed us to Sezinda, where we approached the accused person who ran off. Upon questioning them, they confirmed that they had stolen the cattle from Escodini, Isilobini area.
On traffic issues, Cabinet has approved that the Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe and driving schools should resume business in respect of training public service vehicle drivers and defensive driving and other related or ancillary services. This goes through some guidelines which must be strictly adhered to.
It is good news that Cabinet, this just ended the week, approved the resumption of services by Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe and driving schools in respect of the training of public service vehicle drivers in defensive driving, as well as training of new drivers for the issuances of learner licenses as well as the certificates of competence. This approval comes with stringent measures which we have christened standard operating procedures which every driving school must adhere to. Briefly, there is the need to ensure that the premises are disinfected before resumption of service. Temperature screening, we know the issues to do with the temperature, and infrared thermometers must be there. This is a must. We also look at contact points where customers come in and go. There has to be those sanitization facilities or infrastructure. The mask, of course, where you are meeting people, it has got to be a must way for everyone. In the event that anyone who has been in contact with the driving school has been tested positive, urgent measures are in place to make sure that the nearest health facility is alerted and measures are taken to prevent the spread and contain the existing case that is there. The register is key, because we need to do contact tracing in the event that Mr. John has been found having contacts that already tested positive. Upon intervals, the vehicle must be disinfected, for example, twice every day. So anyone found or caught violating, flouting the regulations laid down, operating under A3, that is going to attract penalties, and the penalties are going to be very punitive. Punitive to mean to say you will not repeat it again. Imioma driving schools are registered. You must belong to your associations. You must also be your brother's keeper. You must blow the whistle where you suspect that this driving school in the Anamrewa in Tiuzeika, Tikaske Kushka Ipapo, Nemapurisa, Neve Utano, because this is an investment in both lives and business.
Vehicle inspection department has opened, fully opened. We are now fully operational. Vehicle inspections are underway at all vehicle inspection depots, and we are now ready. We are geared to start testing people from learner license testing all the way up to road tests. There was an instrument, a statutory instrument issued to the effect that all learner licenses which were affected during the COVID lockdown had to be extended, but the extension goes up to the 30th of September. Which means for those that are still valid, you still have some few days to go. In terms of COVID-19 containment and prevention, we have put everything in place. The issues to do with the social distancing has been taken cognizance of, and in fact, we have got sanitizers, so masks they are also there, so we are fully conforming to the requirements of WHO and the requirements of our health sector in Zimbabwe.
We take a short break. Join us in the third and final segment. We are in the third and final segment of Crime Watch. As the fight against illegal gold mining rages on, the Therapy Support Unit reacted on reports of illegal gold panning and arrested over 160 people and confiscated their mining equipment in Rosa area, Chiweshe in Mashonaland Central Province.
There's been massive panning happening around the homesteads and the villages around. It is an issue of major concern. And as the Zimbabwe Republic Police, we are not going to tire in an effort to address this menace. We will deal with all illegal panners. And of late, we've been focusing on compliance by those miners who have the papers to actually mine. We have seen that there is a lot of non-compliance to provisions of the Mines and Minerals Act in terms of mining. People dig trenches, very deep trenches for that matter, everywhere. They do not rehabilitate them and they leave them. And this poses a danger to animals and human life around these areas.
Support Unit is now firm on the ground to make sure that illegal gold panners do not resurface. Those arrested were taken to Chombira police station where they paid fine. Moving on, indoor fires are a potential risk to lives and property. A security company gives us guidelines on how to prevent fires from starting.
A fire can start very quickly without anyone noticing. So we need a way of detecting them early. You can have smoke detectors installed in your house or business. These are detectors that can detect a smoke and then sound an alarm so that we are aware that there's a fire developing. The next type of detector is the heat detector. This is a detector you can have in maybe storage places where you store flammable chemicals, in kitchens where there's a lot of items that generate heat. So you want to know when the heat exceeds a certain temperature that is going to start a fire. The third detector that you need is carbon monoxide detector. Carbon monoxide is a dangerous gas. It's odorless, it's tasteless, so it kills you very, very fast. So you can have carbon monoxide detectors in areas where you have, say, cooking gas, in areas where you have vehicles and they're confined. The next, I wouldn't call it a detector item, these are called manual call points, where now you rely on the people that we have in the home, in the business. As soon as they detect smoke, they can rush to what we call a manual call point, operate it to alert all the other occupants that there is a fire. And in addition, you can have your fire alarm system linked to a 24/7 security company rapid response system. They can be there first before the fire brigade and coordinate with the fire brigade because they are there already. They know the extent of the fire. So we're going to talk about some of the early interventions that you can implement when you detect a fire. The first thing you should have at a premise is your fire sprinklers. They are a bit traditional, but you can have them on an industrial premise, and automatically in your absence, they can trigger and use water to douse a fire. You can have fire extinguishers. Fire extinguishers can help you fight a very small fire quickly. Then nowadays you also have fire suppression systems In your data centers where you have critical infrastructure that supports your business, you can have a fire suppression system that produces gas to slow down the development of fires and actually be able to extinguish them.
Before we come to the end of this week's episode, we would like to highlight some people who are on the police wanted list. Njube Police is looking for Tolinhlanhla Makitani of house number 13857, Country Park, Bulawayo, in connection with a case of assault and malicious damage to property. Mehluli Ndaba, age 31, of Murira Village, Chief Njelele Gokwe, is wanted by Gokwe Police for a case of assault. Zeterapi Madlambuzi is looking for Nduramo Sivanda, age 20, of Goba Village, Chief Masendu Madlambuzi, for a case of assault. Anyone with information that may help in the location of those people should contact any nearest police station or contact us on the following details. Our National Complaints Desk number is 0242 703 631. The website address is www.ztherapy.gov.zw. Our email address feedback@ztherapy.gov.zw. We also have a Twitter handle @PoliceZimbabwe and Facebook page Zimbabwe Republic Police. To those who may have missed this episode, do not despair. You can watch any of our episodes on the Zeterapi YouTube channel, Zimbabwe Republic Police. It has been a pleasure having you along. As police, we urge you to stay at home, regularly sanitize, wear masks so that you can stay alive and healthy. From the crew behind the scenes and I, Onesisa Sibanda, pleasant viewing.